Imagine a country where the land itself is a defiant human invention, a constant existential battle against the relentless ocean, a nation where more than a quarter of its territory lies below sea level, effectively a giant bathtub that could, at any moment, be swallowed by the waves. This isn't some dystopian sci-fi movie, it's the audacious daily reality for 17 million people who have not just survived this impossible challenge, but thrived, building one of the most prosperous, innovative, and downright bizarre nations on Earth. They are literally engineering their own future, piece by painstaking piece, defying nature to create a land that shouldn't exist. Welcome to Terra 10. Here are 10 mind-blowing facts about the Netherlands. Fact 10. Let's kick things off with a cultural phenomenon that's as iconic as it is perplexing. Bicycles. The Netherlands has more bikes than people. Seriously, you're looking at around 23 million bikes for a population of 17.5 million. Think about that for a second. It's not just a preference, it's a way of life deeply ingrained in the country's infrastructure and identity. Miles of dedicated bike lanes crisscross every city, town, and rural landscape, making cycling the primary mode of transport for millions. This isn't just about staying fit or being green. It's an incredibly efficient, low-impact way to navigate a densely populated nation where space is a premium, every square inch of which has been carefully planned and often engineered into existence. In a country literally built by human hands, it makes perfect sense that human-powered transport would reign supreme, reflecting a national ethos of practicality and precision. And speaking of a country built by human hands, prepare to have your mind blown by the sheer scale of Dutch land reclamation, or polders. Over 25% of the Netherlands, yes, 1/4 of the entire nation, has been reclaimed from the sea or lakes. That's right, they didn't inherit this land, they made it. The most famous example, and perhaps one of the greatest engineering feats in human history, is the Afsluitdijk, a massive 32-kilometer-long dike completed in 1932 that literally closed off the Zuiderzee, turning a saltwater inlet into a freshwater lake and creating thousands of square kilometers of new arable land. Imagine taking a giant bite out of the ocean and saying, nope, this is ours now. It's an ongoing monumental project of human will versus the raw power of nature, pushing back the inevitable and creating new territory where before there was only water. This relentless battle against water brings us to fact number 8, the ubiquitous Dutch windmill. We all picture charming windmills dotting the landscape, but these aren't just quaint tourist attractions. For centuries, these iconic structures were the cutting-edge technology of their time, instrumental in keeping the polders dry. Windmills were, and in some places still are, powerful water pumps, tirelessly lifting water from lower-lying polders into drainage canals that eventually lead to the sea. Without this ancient yet highly effective form of hydroengineering, much of the land we just talked about wouldn't exist. They're a powerful symbol of the Dutch genius for harnessing natural forces, not just for power, but for survival, a testament to generations of ingenuity that literally kept the country from drowning. Now let's pivot from ancient engineering to modern marvels. Despite its small size and constant struggle with the sea, the Netherlands is the second largest agricultural exporter in the world by value, only behind the United States. Let that sink in. How does a country with limited land, much of it below sea level, manage to feed a significant portion of the planet? The answer lies in ultra-high-tech, climate-controlled greenhouses, vertical farms, and groundbreaking innovations in sustainable agriculture. They're effectively creating optimal growing conditions indoors, minimizing water use and maximizing yield in ways that would make sci-fi authors blush. It's a stark reminder that when you're constantly engineering your existence, every resource, every square meter is optimized to an incredible degree. They are literally engineering the future of food in a world grappling with shrinking arable land and climate change, turning a national vulnerability into a global superpower. This leads us directly to the undeniable masterpiece of Dutch engineering, a project so monumental it's often called the eighth wonder of the world, the Delta Works. Following the catastrophic North Sea flood of 1953, which claimed nearly 2,000 lives, the Netherlands embarked on an unprecedented mission to protect its coastline. The Delta Works is a series of interconnected storm surge barriers, dikes, dams, and locks, meticulously designed to withstand even the most extreme weather events. The crowning jewel, the Maaslandkering, is a pair of massive, movable barriers, each as long as the Eiffel Tower, that can close off the Rotterdam waterway in just 30 minutes. It's an engineering marvel that cost billions and took decades to build, a permanent, awe-inspiring shield against the sea, ensuring that the country's delicate balance with the ocean remains firmly in human hands. This wasn't just a reactive project, it was a proactive declaration of independence from the whims of nature. A blueprint for humanity's resilience. But if you think battling the sea with colossal barriers is wild, wait until you hear about their plans for a future where the sea inevitably wins small battles. Enter the concept of floating cities and homes. The Netherlands is at the forefront of designing and building entire neighborhoods that are not just flood-proof, but actually float. Imagine houses, offices, and even entire communities designed to rise and fall with the water levels. The city of Rotterdam, for example, is home to a pilot project of floating pavilions, and numerous residential areas feature floating homes specifically engineered to adapt to potential flooding. This isn't just about surviving, it's about embracing the water, living with it rather than just perpetually fighting it. It's a radical reimagining of urban planning, turning what would be a disaster for most into an innovative new frontier for housing and development. It's a fascinating glimpse into a future where rising sea levels don't mean retreat, but reimagination. Continuing on this futuristic trajectory, the Netherlands is pushing boundaries in a way that feels straight out of a science fiction novel. They're 3D printing bridges. In Amsterdam, they unveiled the world's first 3D printed steel bridge, MX 3D Bridge, a testament to their relentless pursuit of cutting-edge innovation. This isn't just a novelty, it represents a monumental shift in construction and resource efficiency. Instead of traditional methods that generate waste and require immense logistical efforts, 3D printing allows for complex, custom designs with minimal material and faster deployment. It's part of a broader national strategy to embrace circular economy principles, where waste is eliminated, resources are reused, and products are designed for durability and recyclability. In a land with finite space and ever-present environmental challenges, every innovation is geared towards sustainable, efficient, and forward-thinking solutions that prepare for a future of resource, scarcity, and climate adaptation. Remember how they built land from the sea? Well, they're still doing it, but on an unprecedented scale with Maasvlakte 2. This isn't just a few acres, it's a colossal expansion of the port of Rotterdam, one of the busiest ports in the world, that literally added 2,000 hectares, that's nearly 5,000 acres, of brand new land to the country. They dredged sand from the North Sea and systematically built a new coastline, pushing the boundaries of their nation further into the ocean. It's an audacious display of human ingenuity and engineering might, creating not just land, but also a deep-sea port capable of handling the largest container ships on the planet. Maasvlakte 2 isn't just about economic growth, it's a profound statement about resilience and foresight, a demonstration that when facing the end of the world as we know it, some nations choose to expand rather than recede, actively shaping their geography to meet future demands. The Dutch are not just protecting their own backyard, they are actively exporting their expertise in climate change adaptation and water management to the entire world. They've become global consultants, helping cities from New Orleans to Jakarta develop strategies to cope with rising sea levels and extreme weather events. Their Room for the River program, for instance, isn't just about building dikes higher, it's about giving rivers more space to expand safely during floods, creating floodplains and wetlands that double as nature reserves and recreational areas. It's a paradigm shift from fighting nature to working with it, a testament to their deep understanding of hydrological systems and ecological engineering. They're sharing the blueprints for how other nations can survive and thrive in a warming world, turning their existential threat into a global leadership role, effectively helping others engineer their way out of their own impending ends of the world. And now for the most mind-blowing fact, the ultimate testament to the Netherlands' audacious vision for engineering the end of the world. Their long-term strategy isn't just about defense, but about proactive expansion into the North Sea. Faced with the grim realities of accelerated global warming and unprecedented sea level rise, some Dutch engineers and policymakers are not just planning to defend the existing coastline, but to build entirely new, massive artificial islands far out in the North Sea. These aren't just for flood protection, they're envisioned as multifunctional hubs, housing sustainable energy parks, new urban centers, vital shipping lanes, and even new ecological habitats. Imagine a future where, instead of shrinking under the ocean's advance, the Netherlands fundamentally redefines its own geography, creating new territory and completely reshaping its relationship with the elements. It's a multi-generational, almost unimaginable project that transcends mere survival, striving instead for a new era of expansion and reinvention, positioning them as the undisputed masters of planetary engineering. They are literally building a new future for humanity on the edge of the abyss, turning climate catastrophe into an unparalleled opportunity to sculpt the very land they stand on. From defiant polders to radical future visions, the Netherlands is a testament to humanity's ability to not just survive, but to profoundly reshape its own destiny in the face of nature's formidable power. It's a country that proves, against all odds, that the end of the world can simply be the beginning of something new, something engineered. Which country should we uncover next? Tell us in the comments below.